You're listening to another episode of Last Night's Coffee with Chuck and John.
Greetings, Earthlings, and locally hated ICE officers. This is Last Night's Coffee with Chuck and John, episode 181. What's up? We are here. I'm Chuck. That's John.
Yo.
My foot hurts today, so I'm going to be whiny.
Yeah, your foot hurts, and I'm sure there's some deportees whose feet hurt right now, too.
Dude. Let's get to weekend wrap up, because the weekend wrap up really started at the end of last week's show.
Yeah, that's true. We had a pretty long weekend. We didn't have to go to work for a couple of days. We got a couple snow days. You and I did, which was nice. How did you spend your snow days, man? What did you do?
Binge watching TV shows.
Okay. Not a bad way to spend your snow days.
We may have watched some movies.
Okay.
I don't know. It's all a blur. I had a lot of anxiety because I really would rather have gone to work. I don't like we fear change.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
I need my pattern to stay the same.
Yeah.
So, and my pattern got changed.
Right.
But maybe I needed some forced off days to recalibrate some things. I don't know.
Like your brain? Did your brain need some recalibrating?
I think resetting? So. Like I had to retrain everything. And I'm still playing with this inputs too, because I couldn't hear me. Like it's weird on this microphone. I can't hear me.
That is really weird, because at the beginning you said you could hear yourself just fine.
I can hear myself now, but as I was talking, it kind of went away.
Oh.
I don't know. Look. Andy refuses to be our producer. So we have to do all this stuff ourselves. And we're not the best.
We're just a couple mechanics.
John's probably pretty good at it. I've had some sound experience, but
no.
Usually I'm not the one talking. So
I think you do most of the talking nowadays on the show.
I don't know. Last week I didn't. I did a lot of listening. But
did you?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I do a lot of talking last week.
There's just a lot of talking. I don't know. I don't remember last week's show, to be honest with you.
I don't remember most shows.
So somebody comes like, hey man, that was pretty. What are you talking about?
Yeah. What did we even talk about today? Don't have a clue.
Yeah, but
we can review, man. How did what else? Did you any shows you want to recommend from your binge watching?
High Potential's pretty good.
High Potential. Okay. How can people stream that?
It's on Hulu. It's an ABC show.
Okay. All right. High Potential. High
Potential's really good. Will Trent, turns out it's really good. And it was filmed like 2 miles from one scene. I was like, I was there. That's my store. That's the store where you get a hamburger at. They were there.
That's pretty cool. That's cool.
Yeah. We went and watched Den of Thieves 2.
How was it, man? Did you go to the theaters for that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I didn't think it was released for home viewing yet. How was it? I really enjoyed the first one. I'm a big fan of what's that guy's name? Gerard Butler, right?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his. He's a good actor. How was it?
Well, this one's different.
Okay.
It's it's the same characters, but it's more, I don't know. It's just different the way it's done. And they left it wide open for a third one too.
Yeah. Okay. It makes sense if they're going to do a second one. Got to leave it open for a third one just in case.
Yeah. So I think it's 2 hours. We went in the movie theater at 5:15 and left at 8:00.
Whoa.
Yeah. And most
with previews and everything, it was probably like a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Most of this movie, I really feel like most of this movie was building a bunch of backstories
Hmm.
for a third one.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah,
was
kind of
very good.
investing people.
Yeah, it was very good, but it's like, how did we get here?
Right, right, right.
And I really enjoyed it. It was not filmed in Georgia like the last one.
Yeah.
A lot of it was filmed overseas.
Okay.
There's some mafia involvement. I'm not going to get too much into that because it's really a sound part of, I think, this one and the next one.
Okay.
There's some sleight of hand and some tricks going on, so we
All
got
right.
that going for us. But overall, I really enjoyed it. Um, Charlie enjoyed it. Now he's got to watch the first one.
He hadn't seen that one yet.
He hadn't
He
seen
was
the
too
first one.
young. Yeah.
Yeah, but this movie actually could stand alone by itself.
Oh, okay. It's that kind of movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it could stand alone without seeing the first one. So he wasn't
Yeah.
like too terribly confused.
I've kind of noticed that's the way of movies nowadays. They're longer, and most of them, even if they are a sequel, you don't have to see the first one in order to understand it. It kind of seems like the way of the movie business now, doesn't it? Like
Right.
standalone movies that are built on other movies. You know what I mean? But they can stand alone,
Yeah.
and they're all super long, man. Everything seems like it's really long now. I think
Well,
Marvel started it, right? They started really pushing the envelope when they did like a 3 hour long Avengers movie, right?
yeah, and I think too, you're getting into that um doing this stuff for home consumption too.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's going to get longer. Like cuz
Sure.
people, they're going to, so you've got a small group that's going to go see it at the theaters. Like there was 5 people in there with us.
Wow.
Which,
Wow.
and this is a big movie. Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
Um But here's the weird thing about it. I couldn't remember the name of it. We walked into to get our tickets, and they're like, "What movie you want to see?" And me and Mary Beth are both like, "It starts at 5:15 and it's a sequel."
D-
They're like, "Den of Thieves 2." So I'm like, "Okay, maybe that's just us." The people that were in line behind us that didn't hear us get our tickets because they kind of come in while they were getting our popcorn
Yeah.
was like, that one was like, "I want to see that Gerard Butler movie."
That's
It's
so
like,
funny.
so why are y'all why can't we remember the name of it? I did see a trailer that interested me, and I'm probably going to watch this movie.
Okay.
Thunderbolts. Have you seen the trailer of that yet?
Thunderbolts. Which ones is that, the Marvel with the like the kind of offshoot characters, like
Yeah, it's like
the kind
all
of
the
roughhouse characters?
all the characters come from Wish.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Thunderbolts. That's with it's still got Bucky. It's still got the guy with the
yeah,
arm, right? It's still got him.
yeah, yeah,
And then it's got like Black Widow's sister in it, I think,
yeah.
and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I've heard about it. I haven't really seen any previews for it, I don't think, but I've
The
heard about it.
saw the preview. The sheriff from Stranger Things is in it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He was in the Black Widow movie. He was Black Widow's father or something like that.
Oh well, I guess he's something else now.
Well, he's the red. I forget
I don't
his
know what he
actual
is.
superhero name. He's a Russian guy. He was like the Russian
Yeah.
Captain America. So like
Oh,
he wore a big red star on his little
so
uniform
am I
outfit.
missing something?
Yeah, you got to watch the Black Widow movie.
I don't want to watch Black Widow.
Yeah, it's not that great. It's okay. But that would give you all the backstory
I hope
on her sister, who's part of that, and her dad, who's part of that.
I hope this movie stands alone as a good movie because I I liked watching all the doing the whole Marvel thing all the way up through End Wars and stuff.
Yeah,
But man, it got so tiring.
yeah. It
It
got
was a
really played out after that.
it was a lot of work. Like
Mhm.
what's that one? There was a couple of the first couple of shows that come from the Marvel universe there were
Yep.
good shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it just gets so tiring having to go back and like watch stuff just so you can understand how oh, we took this one line out of a movie and now we've made a whole section of a movie dedicated to tie that all in together.
Sure.
And it's just so draining now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it was fun when it was new.
Yes.
And like they were doing it with Star Wars and they were doing it with Marvel. And now it's just like
Yeah. Now it kind of seems like those long storylines don't matter anymore. Like, it don't, not that they don't matter, but like it's just too much.
yeah,
Like, I think the way they did it at first, which was like a bunch of test screenings, because like they didn't actually know how Iron Man was going to do in theaters. They didn't actually know how Thor was going to do in theaters.
right. Right.
They didn't actually know how Captain America was going to do because there have been so many flops before that. Like, think about how many Hulks there were before that, and they all flopped. None of them
Yeah.
did well. So they knew they couldn't even do a Hulk uh, origin story, right? They couldn't even do that, but they could. They
Right.
did the Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America, tied it all
Well,
together. But all, like I said, all of them, they didn't know how they were going to do. So like they were all standalone movies. They didn't necessarily tie in so much that you had to see them. And I think, and they managed to tie the whole story together without us knowing it. It was this element of surprise. Whereas now we have to like back catalog all these shows and try to watch this Disney Plus and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, no, thank you.
and
Like,
then you get a timeline of, well, this is how you got to watch it for it to be in the correct order. Because
yeah.
we didn't release it in the correct order.
Or this happened in this multiverse, but not in this multiverse. And
Yeah,
you're
and
like,
this is
what?
not the real Spider-Man. This is the real Spider. This is your Spider-Man, but he's not our Spider-Man.
It just gets so played out, man. But yeah, I think the way of Hollywood seems to be these movies that are built on other movies and they're just really long. The storylines take really long to play out.
Well, a lot of it has to do with Disney trying to take the IP and
Hmm.
make money off of it.
Yeah, because the more time someone watches something, the more money they get, right? Like,
And that and they put it into their parks and stuff.
yeah,
You know? So
yeah,
I don't know. It's
yeah,
weird.
I get it.
But football's over.
Football is over. Well, college football is done. The national
Like
championship has been decided.
clearly by Ohio.
Yes, yeah, pretty handily. I mean, Notre Dame tried to make a comeback there at the end. Tried. It was cool, fun game. But Ohio State, I think we can all agree, Ohio State was a better team that night. They won.
Ohio come on in the back half of the season and
Yeah.
obliterated. So Ohio State was able to adjust, get better, where Georgia just they stayed the same because this is our guy. We're going with our guy now. We're not
Yep.
changing anything, Bobo.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So we just kind of stayed the same team. It didn't matter whether we had the hardest hardest schedule in college football this year.
Nope. Didn't
They
matter.
they did the same thing, and they didn't adjust. I don't know if they were incapable of adjusting. I know the team didn't like the quarterback.
Mm.
That information has come out.
You think the Georgia players, really, that information's come
Yeah,
out? The Georgia players did not like Carson Beck?
they didn't like Carson Beck, and they didn't like all his off the field antics with his Instagram girlfriend.
Whatever, dude. It sounds like the team needs to grow a set, dude. I mean, I
I
get
don't.
that his focus needs to be on the team. I get that needs to be his number one concern. Like, you got to be all in. This is Georgia football. There is no distractions. I
Right.
understand.
It's
But if
Georgia.
you got a hottie hanging off of your shoulder, what are you going to do, Chucker?
I'm playing football. That's my commitment.
And you're going to hang with your hottie. You're going to do both. Trust me. Trust me. Your hottie
He's
down in
trying to.
Miami, you're going to do that too.
He's trying to do the whole. Maybe they looked at him as he's trying to do the whole Travis Kelsey thing. In their minds, have
No,
the socialite girlfriend and
yeah, I think there's a lot of that power couple thing going on. You know what I mean? A lot of these young athletes and young, influencers, they want to be these power couples. They see some sort of
in a world where you have normal couples, there are power couples.
That's right, man. That's right. I mean, yeah, I think that's kind of where it's at.
It's is what it is. But
Georgia did
Speedway.
not adapt during the season. I can
No.
agree with you on that. They did not adapt. They did not overcome. They did not change the game plan. They tried to stick to a game plan that was barely getting them through games, and it cost them. Cost them the season.
Yeah, dude, it has backed my input off again.
Yeah,
Why
I
does
noticed it. It
doing this
reloaded.
on its own? I'm gonna turn the. I'm gonna see if it.
Hey,
I know you said this sounds more like a cell phone.
yeah.
Dude, it just did it again. I'm sitting there watching it back it off.
I don't know, man. It doesn't like you. It wants you to be controlled.
It,
It
what
wants
the
to
heck?
control you, Chucker. StreamYard wants to control your volume.
Do you have some kind of setting over there? I don't know that like automatically adjust me and I can't. You know what I'm
Probably.
saying? Oh, I
Probably.
got. Does that change anything?
Edit mic settings. Oh
I
yeah,
have.
look at that.
Oh
I
yeah.
just stopped reduce mic background noise. So
Okay.
you don't have reduced background noise now. So there you go. Live.
All right.
Here we go.
Man, I tell you what, see, we were able to adapt and overcome in the middle of a podcast and change what needed to be changed to give out a better product and win this podcast.
That's right. That's right. Speaking of
What
winning, brother.
Trump, good
Speaking
golly,
of
dude.
winning.
Okay, here's a BBC article.
Okay.
Almost everything Trump did in his first week.
Okay. I'm
But
excited for
unfortunately,
this.
it's not an article, and I should have read it before, and it's a video, and I ain't got time to watch it.
Oh crap. Yeah. Don't have time for
So-
all that. Well, we know that he signed like what, 200 something executive orders.
He's been winning the first week. He won inauguration.
Yeah.
He won all the parties.
Yeah.
There's people going back to countries that they didn't know even know they belong to.
Pete Hegseth has been confirmed.
Hegseth.
Several others have been confirmed. Kash Patel is yet to be confirmed, though, right?
Correct, I believe.
I think
I'm
Kash
excited
Patel.
about Pete Hegseth.
Me as I am as well. I know that the CIA director has been confirmed. There's several other positions. I know RFK is yet to be confirmed as well, and Tulsi Gabbard, she is yet to be confirmed. But I expect most of those to go through. RFK is a questionable one. That one might be a hard-fought battle to get him confirmed through both parties.
I mean, with RFK, just getting those files released was probably a lot for him if he don't make it.
Yeah, and we're going to hit on that in just a little bit, but I want to talk about some of these other executive orders that he signed first. I want to talk about
them things.
Do what?
I said, hit them. Let's go.
Well, I want to talk about the DEI executive order that he signed, where basically stating that all DEI employees, I think he fired them, right?
Well, yeah, and I mean that's kind of sad, even though Dell Earnhardt Incorporated has not been in operation in a while. I don't know why it took an executive order from Trump to finally fire everyone from DEI. Or is it a different kind?
I think it's a different type of DEI. It may be the diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI. That's kind of been a newfound thing. Yeah, anybody who's not had their head in NASCAR for the last 30 years, you might be familiar. But no, do they actually lose their jobs? Do you know what the situation is there? Like
they better. They better.
You're not wrong there. I think it's a shame when we get away from a meritocracy, right? When we get away from people earning their positions. Yes. I think it's a shame.
Yes.
My mother was a victim of this I mean, I'm not trying to play the victim here or have my mom be out to be the victim, but I mean, in the circumstances, she was the victim of a. At the time, it wasn't called DEI, but basically, she was way more qualified than another woman was. But that other woman had a darker color skin and therefore was awarded the job. And she was told that flat out. And that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's absolutely nuts. When you're no longer hiring based off of merit and based off of performance.
Back then, they called it affirmative action.
Yeah. That was one of the things for sure. But I've got an issue with that, man. I've got a real issue with that. I think that's shameful. And the businesses that were conducting themselves this way ought to apologize to their customers for not offering the best services or goods available. Instead, they were compromising.
Yeah, I mean because they want to look good, and we don't look. I don't want. Let's see. How am I trying to say this? I buy a product because of the product, not necessarily what they do. Because
sure,
I mean, look at. Let's see.
We both use iPhones.
Right.
We don't agree with 90% of what Apple does. We don't agree with the way they produce the phones. We don't agree with their politics.
That's why I buy them, because there's sweatshops in China. And I'm like, you know what? I want the guy that made my phone to be willing to die to get out of his job.
Yeah. I heard something this weekend really quick that will drive you nuts. The cost over there in China to produce an iPhone. This was an iPhone 14 now, so this clip was a couple of years old.
Okay.
$10.
Yeah.
$10.
Okay. Here's something that I've been for years. For years, John.
Mm-hmm.
Are there more than one engine option available for your personal vehicle at home? Your y'all's SUV?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What? And one costs more than the other?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But did it cost them more to make that engine, to put those motor mounts in, to do this, that, and the other? No, it didn't.
I mean, in raw material, maybe, right? Because if you're talking about a V8 engine compared to a V6, sure, okay, maybe so in raw material.
So you're talking about maybe 12 pounds of extra materials.
Yeah, like at the raw material phase, I can see there being an additional
raw material, but there's not that. How does that equal $2,000 or $3,000?
Sure, I agree, or more, right?
Yeah,
like
or more.
I mean, when we bought our Kia, this was a long time ago. It was $12,000 more to get the leather interior.
Yeah.
$12,000. Dude, them cows didn't cost that much. No. I'm here to tell you. And they weren't even made out of cows. They were probably fake leather anyway.
Leather. It was either that Kia. Now, they could have been getting human leather from North Korea.
That's true, dude. I wouldn't put it past them.
The human leather
or LaGrange. I'm just saying.
The human leather seats are usually the best.
That was if you wanted the tan, you had to get the North Korean. But if you wanted that white leather, they came straight out of LaGrange, bro.
Yeah, they definitely. They
just go swoop through the trailer park and round up a few.
Well, most of them got too many holes in it from the needles.
That's where you come up with the fancy diamond tuck stitching.
Oh, is that where you get that from? It's already
cutting out the tattoos and the needle marks.
They can't use the feet. They can't use the feet because they're usually too stained from walking barefoot in Kroger. How did we get here?
You ever been inside a Kroger with bare feet?
No.
I've been inside an A&P with bare feet before.
No, I don't go anywhere with bare feet. I don't even walk around my house barefooted.
Do you have indoor shoes?
I have house shoes.
You do, and you wear your house shoes. You don't wear them outside the house. ever.
Well, I'll go out to the car and get something.
So you're not super strict.
No, I'm not super strict, but my feet don't touch. Try not to touch. Like if I walk outside, it's like freaky.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
I
I'm
wear
walking
my
somewhere
house shoes
freaky.
like into the garage and on the front porch and stuff like that. My wife just throws a fit. She thinks it's nuts.
Um, I'm I'm kind of protect now. About the only place I'll be barefooted at is at the beach.
Really?
Yeah,
Toes in the sand. That's it.
yeah, but man, I'm a flip flop guy, so I mean, it's not like I'm totally protected,
Yeah.
but I
So
don't
you
know.
let them little digits get some air. You
Yeah,
get
the
you
digits they can breathe. They just don't touch the ground.
that little toe is getting some O2. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. It needs it too because it's one of them that kind of hangs in there, and it's only got about an eighth of an inch of toenail. But
Yeah, dude, I know exactly what you. Every time I clip that toenail, I think it's just gonna come off because there ain't
dude, it's
nothing
so
there.
scary. It's so scary. Sometimes it's hard to clip. Sometimes you can't even get a bite on it.
Man, I get freaked out, dude. I don't want to lose him. You
It's
know?
like, why are all these toenails long? And this little guy over here is going,
Yeah, yeah.
you
Little
know.
Jerry down there, he looking like he's
Well,
about to
oh,
fall off.
you named your toes?
Well, I just did.
Oh, okay. Are they both Jerry?
Jerry 1 and 2.
Jerry 1 and 2. Okay.
Yeah. My right foot's 1 though, for sure. No hate on you, left foot. I'm
So
with you.
so Trump's been deporting. There's rumors, vicious rumors, that ICE has been working in Griffin.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, they've definitely been in Metro Atlanta. I mean, I have seen news article after news
Yeah.
article after news article about ICE being all over Metro Atlanta. So, I mean, Griffin, well, it's a little bit on the outskirts of Metro Atlanta. It's still Metro Atlanta to most people.
Look,
So,
don't take my favorite wait staff from the Mexican restaurant.
dude, you remember growing up though? Like for me, we had one particular Mexican restaurant that we would frequent. I mean,
Yes.
it was the
Yes.
only Mexican restaurant we went to.
What's the name of it? Go ahead and give them a shout out because I know which one it is.
It's El Ranchero on Crosstown Drive. Shout them out, dude. I've been going there since I was a child, man. I mean, a wee little lad.
And it's way different than El Charo's in Griffin.
Oh, super different, man. Super different. But there's 2 El Rancheros in Peachtree City, and we specifically chose the Crosstown one. We always liked that one.
I frequented
Anyway.
that one before.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we would go there all the time. And it was a common thing when we would pull up to El Ranchero one night, there would be
Yeah.
no cars in the parking lot. And we're just like, what the heck? You walk up, there's a little sign. Sorry, we're closed for a couple of days. It was because their wait staff had been deported. And they were just trying to
Wow.
get trying to make their way back over.
Yeah.
Like this was a common routine thing. It wasn't even looked at as negative at the time.
Right. It was just cost of doing business.
Yeah. It was just like the way things were.
Okay. I've got a question. What happened to all the Chinese restaurants? The
We've
good
got a
Chinese
few left.
restaurants.
Oh, yeah, the good Chinese restaurants. There's that's a really good question, man. I think they're all making donuts now. I think they realize there's more money in donuts.
Oh, they're making that dough.
Yeah, dude, making that dough.
Dude, I miss a good Chinese restaurant.
I know they hit different, man. They hit
Like-
different. Not these cheap ones, dude. Not this cheap junk.
Yeah. Like we used to have a couple good ones. Like you could go in there, you could get the buffet or you could order off the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Now in Griffin, it's like they've got one. It ain't even Chinese people running it. I think they're Russian.
I hate that.
And their freaking fried rice is burnt.
yeah.
Burnt rice.
Yeah.
Give me some of that burnt rice. I mean, you eat it and you about get. It's like burnt rice with way too much soy sauce on it. And I like a lot of soy sauce in my fried rice. Don't get me wrong. I don't even know what I'm eating. And then you go and throw the peas in there. They ain't got peas in China.
Dude, I think I figured it out. You know what we have since those like really good Chinese restaurants have phased out, what we've gotten a lot of is these Asian fusion restaurants. And 9 times out of 10, it's a fusion marriage too, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Them two look about as different as you can, and
Yeah.
and you're like, what is this? I don't even know what I'm eating. Like Korean barbecue fusion. Like Koreans, I didn't even know they barbecued, dude. Since when is this even happening? And how is it? What are you talking about?
I mean, you got Juan Luke over there barbecuing.
Yeah, yeah. Every single one of these places has Mexicans cooking all the food anyway. So
Yeah, every one of them.
every single one of them, and we don't like to talk about that. Every
Now,
one of your favorite Italian restaurants has Mexicans cooking that pizza. I promise, and
dude.
pasta.
So what was it? There was a Mexican restaurant and a Chinese restaurant in Griffin, and this one waiter would be kind of just move back and forth between them. I never noticed it. Somebody told me about it. It's like that waiter was at El Charo's the other day. I'm like, no, there wasn't.
So they just make their way back and forth?
Yeah.
Can you imagine the life of trying to play a Chinese guy and then trying to play a Mexican?
And
Like, do you even bother?
It is probably you nail it down. He's probably Indian.
Yeah. He's South African.
You ever notice that one guy? There's one guy in the movies. Oh, what's he in? You would know him if you saw him. He's Shooter. The movie Shooter.
Mm-hmm.
The light colored brown guy that's his partner.
Yeah. He's also in Ant-Man. He was in that. He was in that show we watched recently, Landman. What's that guy's name?
Yeah, he was in Landman.
He was in the first episode of Landman.
He has played every tan ethnicity that you could possibly play.
Yeah, he was in Fury as well. He's been in so many different roles, dude. Really great actor.
Great actor. One of my favorite tan actors.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm assuming that he's Hispanic. He's for real Hispanic.
I would think so.
But, I mean, he's played a lot of different things. That just goes to show you.
What? What does it go to show you?
That we can't play but one role.
Dude, nowadays, that's true.
Are you ready to take an ad break?
I am. I'm ready to take an ad break, and we're going to come back. We're going to talk about some more of what Trump did on his first week.
Okay, I got to go.
Thanks for sticking with us through this ad break, guys. I'm here to tell you about one of our sponsors, Eileen Ayers with Bush Realty. You can check her out at movingcoweta.com for all of your real estate needs in the metro Atlanta area. That's movingcoweta.com. Eileen Ayers with Bush Realty. Now back to the show.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're back to last night's coffee with Chuck and John. We're going to be talking about the Gulf of America now. Trump's first weekend. See? Hey.
Change the name Gulf of America, see? No more Gulf of Mexico, see?
So, we're now vacationing at the Gulf of America.
Mm-hmm.
No longer vacationing at the Gulf of Mexico.
That's right. That's right. All of us Georgians are now going to Gulf of America.
It used to be the Redneck Riviera at the Gulf of Mexico, which sounded somewhat exotic.
Yeah.
Now, is Cancun in the Gulf of America?
Yeah, for sure. They better suck it up, dude. They're now in the Gulf of America.
Somebody asked me the other day, they're like, why did they call it Gulf of Mexico anyway? And I'm like, well, I think it kind of goes back to when Spanish had Florida and Mexico.
Yeah.
They're like, well, this is the Gulf of Mexico.
Sure.
But now America's got more of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the Gulf of, it's no different really than Palestine does not even show, like, they're like, ooh, you're going to change the maps. Nobody's going to recognize it. They will recognize. It's the same water, same fish. But like Palestine doesn't even show Israel on their map.
Yeah. Most other countries don't have an accurate world map.
Yeah.
I think we need to consider that.
I mean, I wonder if North Korea's is like North
China's
Korea.
map. Yeah.
And it's like you got North Korea, Russia, and China.
Yeah.
And then everything else is bad guys.
Yeah, it is. And most of Russia and China are owned by North Korea, according to them.
Right. Right. Like, I wonder how much, like, if the North Koreans, because we don't know much about North Korea, let's face it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wonder if he, like, tells his people, it's like, look, we really own most of the world.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
We are the superpower.
No,
we
yeah,
we help Russia and we help China, but really, we are the main part of the world.
Yeah, dude, for sure. He has convinced them that they are deities. That line of human beings are deities. He has convinced them of everything. The only information these people are fed is from him.
Yeah.
That's a scary situation, man.
Yeah. But
that's a really scary situation.
Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Georgia,
MJG,
good Oaks, Republican, has voiced her support for renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Yeah.
Introducing and pushing a bill to implement the change shortly after President Donald J. Trump. Do I need to say that? President Donald J. Trump signed an executive order directing the name to be changed.
Yeah. So she's trying to build on his executive order and actually pass it as law.
Yeah. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's how. Really, we shouldn't have executive orders.
Mm-hmm.
But if we do have an executive order, it should be backed up by a law.
I agree, and you know, we mentioned at the beginning here that Trump signed 200 something executive orders in his first couple of days there. How many of those were just undoing previous executive orders? You know what I mean?
A large number of them.
Right. Like at what point do we stop the bleeding? Like, this is just going to continuously grow. It's like a freaking snowball effect, man. At some point, we got to stop the bleeding.
Right. And I don't think it ever will, because nobody's going to give up that power.
I agree.
But I'm for drill, baby, drill.
Yeah, which is the whole point behind this, right? Let's talk about that for a second. The whole point behind him renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America is so that we can drill here and drill now, right? It's all about energy independence, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he wants more oil production out of America, right?
Right.
We want to be buying less from other countries.
It's a beautiful Gulf. Tremendous.
The best Gulf, some would say.
But some would say it's the best Gulf.
I walk down there, I say, wow, it's the best. I wouldn't say that, but I walk down there, I say, wow, this is the best Gulf.
Wow, that's really, you know, he does not have necessarily a Trump tower in Panama City Beach, but there's a condo in Panama City that he is a major owner in.
I didn't know that.
And it's the bottom lobby area was already built for a casino, and they were pushing to get casino gambling in Panama City.
Oh, wow. Is it what happened? Bureaucracy happened.
Bureaucracy and gambling's bad. We can't have gambling.
Don't mention the Panama City Strip. Like, PCB Strip is like notorious, you know what I mean, for having the most scandalous acts happening on it.
Yeah.
And you're going to sit there and complain about a casino.
Yeah, because it might bring people in that would actually spend money. Everybody thinks every time if you bring a casino in, the prostitutes are coming.
Right.
We're going to have prostitutes.
Right.
Guess what, lady? You got prostitutes in Griffin anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They park them on a dirt road. We're pretty sure there's 2 of them working.
Well,
our dirt road.
I guess the other concern would be like, you know, old Jimmy comes down and loses all his money and he can't get home. So now you got this homeless Jimmy just hanging out around the casino.
Jimmy was probably going to lose all his money in Panama City anyway. whether it was at the casino or whether it was at Club La Vila
Right.
or just in general. I know guys that used to take. There was a guy that told me one time. He said, when we go to Panama City, we'd take $20 and we'd take the horn button off our car and put it in the horn button, and that was our gas money to get home.
No way. They would hide it from themselves.
They would hide it from themselves, so
because they knew they were all going to be broke at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Sounds like when you plan that way, like when you go into it with that expectation, that's pretty awesome.
Right. So, I mean, we've all gone to the beach and lost all our money.
It's true. It's true. Look, one of the other things we got to talk about, though, that Trump signed is the MLK, JFK, RFK declassification. He wants all the documents that the CIA and the FBI have released for public viewing on the assassination of MLK, the assassination of JFK, and RFK. How do you feel about that? What do you think we'll actually get out of that?
I hope we get the truth. The truth
is
out there.
Do you think we'll get it? Do you think we'll actually get it?
I don't know. It depends on how buried it is. Now, in 1992-ish, they took all the files and they put them in one file.
They reduced it down to one file.
Well, like they brought it all together. That way, if it's ever released, you can release the whole file.
Oh, you mean all three assassinations?
No, the JFK stuff.
Okay, so like all the CIA stuff, the FBI stuff, all the investigations were brought into one because the FBI was probably investigating it, but the CIA were the ones who were probably behind it. And then you had also the Church Committee of Congress that was investigating it as well. So, yeah.
And I've already read some things about it. Like, they were trying to do a covert action in Cuba and make it look like we needed to go invade Cuba. And it kind of went south, and he wouldn't give them air support, wouldn't authorize air support. So they're saying that's why the CIA killed him. So
the Bay of Pigs thing?
I don't know if it was Bay of Pigs
or some other Cuban operation.
It was Northwoods, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, that's fascinating. I've heard things about that before. I from everything that we can gather now, JFK was not a fan of the intelligence community. In general, he didn't like the idea behind it. He didn't like secret societies. He wasn't a fan of all that.
No, he wasn't.
And
now, as far as the MLK stuff,
yeah, that gets interesting. Real quick.
I've heard that his parties were about like Diddy parties.
Really?
Yes.
Just wild sex. Crazy.
That they had all kinds. That the FBI had all these files on him. And they've already released some of that stuff that was going on.
Sure.
And they were to let him know that they had it because they were trying to get him to kill himself.
Yes, I've read about that. The poison pen letter or whatever.
Yeah.
I've read about that as well. I found that very interesting. They were trying to get him to kill himself.
But then you go and watch that video you sent to me, and we could link it. Can you put that in the show notes?
Yeah, I think I can put it in the show notes. No problem.
It was Judge Joe Brown. Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Wasn't he the one that was him and Camilla had a thing going on?
Yes.
Okay. I was just, wondering how insane he was. He was saying he was one of the last judges to look at the case, and that James Earl Ray didn't do it.
Right.
Not at all. I mean, there's evidence.
Belief. Yeah, that's his
evidence
belief.
He looked at said James Earl Ray didn't do it. That it was conspiracy. That the gun, the bullet that come out of MLK couldn't even been shot out of that gun.
Correct. Wasn't the right caliber.
Yeah.
We didn't have the right twist rate, all of that, the correct rifling rate. And he mentioned some kind of manufacturer's defect in James Earl Ray's rifle that would have been evident on the bullet, and it wasn't.
Right. Now, why did the government do it?
Well,
Or
I think
let's not say the government do it, because I don't think it was like the president sitting up there going,
bingo.
"Hey, we need to stop this MLK guy."
Bingo.
Why did the dark side of the government do it?
Well, similar to, I think we can really relate it, and I'm not supporting the man by this statement, but I think we can really relate it to Trump and the, the how the government used the Justice Department, how the FBI was used to investigate Trump negatively and come out with these negative reports, right? And all of these things. And they were used to also squash the reports about Hunter Biden's laptop and Burisma and all of those phone conversations, right? The weaponization of the Justice Department, I think it's kind of the same thing, right? I think and it played right into 1970s when they did the Sweeping Psychedelics Act as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was all about stopping movements, right? The MLK, it was about stopping that movement. The change, the political establishment cannot withstand change. That's not going to be good for them. So when we talk about the civil rights movement or the hippie movement, which is why they did the Sweeping Psychedelics Act, and it was also kind of to punish Nixon's political opponents as well.
Right.
But the same thing. The political establishment cannot handle change, and Trump, like today, Trump was coming in to do some changes, right? He's coming in to make some changes. The idea of Doge is probably terrifying for a lot of federal government employees, right? I mean, you're looking at possibly losing your job because Elon Musk, the world's richest man, who is like absolutely insane, could just decide on a whim that you're no longer useful.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's gotta, I mean.
But there's a lot of people that are no longer, look.
I agree. But if say you've been doing this job for 22 years, man, you've just been doing your job.
Yeah.
Heck, you don't know any different. You're just doing your job. And now you've got this guy coming in saying, yeah, you're not necessary. Don't need your job anymore, as a matter of fact.
We're going to put, it's like, Doge is like the, an Office Space. What was those two guys' names?
The Bobs.
The Bobs. So Doge is the Bobs. What would you say you do here?
Yeah, exactly, dude. It's terrifying. Unfortunately, Vivek dropped out. I was really worried about that because I have a lot of hope in Vivek as well and what he would be able to do and the level-headedness he would bring to Doge. He has dropped out of that now. Supposedly, it's going to be for a bid to run for the Ohio governor. That would be pretty cool. And as long as that plays out like that, I'm cool with it. But the idea of Elon being the head of it all kind of scares me a little bit.
Now there are some gripes amongst some I told you so's against from the what's it called? The liberals on TikTok.
Okay.
Because now they've put Elon's office. I say that in air quotes because I don't think he really has an office anywhere in the world.
If he does, he's not spending time in it.
His office is in his brain and on his phone.
Right.
So he has to answer to Susie Wells now, which is like the chief of staff.
Okay.
And his office is across the street from the White House.
Wow.
So they're like, well, he don't have direct access to Trump anymore. I call BS on that. For one, yes. Trump is a text away.
Yeah, I agree.
Officially, you have to delegate things through the chief of staff. That's how the whole thing works.
Yes.
So, they were, I guess in their mind, he was going to be like this SS type guy that was, it's like Susie Wells and the cabinet.
Yeah.
And Elon.
Yeah, he's separate.
No,
it don't work like that.
Trump understands how a board works.
Sure.
I mean, so anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in there about Elon.
I think it'll be interesting, man. We'll see what Doge can get done. But getting back to your original question, I think that's why the deep state would want to assassinate MLK. I think change is a bad thing.
We fear change.
Yeah. Yeah. Change is a bad thing for those people. And that's why they would want to stop that movement and stop him and Malcolm X and RFK and JFK.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Pete Pete. Let's talk about old Pete for a minute.
Okay. All right, let's talk about it.
This dude should strike fear into anyone who wants to come against America.
Yeah.
Because he is definitely the warrior in the garden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been confirmed now as the Secretary of Defense. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I got that position correct. Now, this man, he's one that's been on the battlefield.
Yes.
He's no stranger to conflict. He knows what it takes to suit up and to fight for freedom. And I think having someone who has that experience go into a position like Secretary of Defense is monumentally important.
Yes.
I think that kind of perspective in that kind of position is it's non-negotiable. I think that should be a pre-qualification for that position.
That you've had a bullet whiz by you.
Yeah, you've been boots on the ground in battle.
Yeah.
And you know the consequences of it. You know violence.
I don't think you should make general in this army or this military without having been shot at. Because, we've got a lot of generals that have never been outside the Pentagon.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
They've been
immediately
inside.
from basic training, you go into officers or, you know what I mean? It's like you're set up from the beginning to not die or to die.
I mean, you go back and look at George Washington, and he was one of the first ones they say to talk about the military industrial complex. He didn't call it that, but he talked about it.
Okay.
That dude had been shot at before he was general. I mean, he worked his way up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was one of our greatest presidents we've ever had. Because he was the first, and he kind of set the standard.
Yeah.
And I think they should measure all presidents by him before they even put you into a nomination.
Yeah, for sure, dude. For sure. You want to know something interesting I found last week when I was doing some inaugural address research?
Yes.
George Washington had the shortest inaugural address. It was his second inaugural address. It was 135 words.
Wow.
he basically
let's do this again.
Yeah, basically he was just like ditto.
Ditto.
Let's run it back, bro.
This is like back-to-back championships. So, we've beat the British. Just want to throw that out there. We won. They even tried to change that. Well, we didn't really win. They just gave up. Well, if I'm getting beat up, if I'm in a fist fight and I'm getting beat up and I say, look, okay, you're right.
Yeah.
I lost, right? Right? If you tap out, like somebody's got you in an arm bar or whatever, you go, stop. You tap out. You gave up. You lost.
Yeah, if you give up, you lose.
You lose the championship belt, right?
For sure.
Okay. Is war the same way?
Yes, I think so.
I was just wondering, kind of like, that's like saying the South. Well, the South didn't really lose the war. They gave up. They
just gave up. Yeah.
They gave up. No, that means they lost.
There's some Southerners who would agree with that. Like, we just subsided for the time.
Yeah, the South will rise again.
Yeah, dude.
But Pete Hegseth, I think he's going to be he's a cool dude. Even my mom likes him. My mom's like,
wow.
Yeah, she's like, he's going to be good for it. I've been watching him on Fox News.
Yeah. He seems very level-headed.
Yeah, and God forbid you go against him as a not necessarily internally, but like a country moving against us.
Oh gosh.
Because the man's seen war. The man is not going to put our troops in a position to where it's an endless war that we can't win.
No, I don't see that coming to him.
He's gonna go balls out. So his first day, he's working on removing the DEI program inside the Pentagon.
Wow.
Reinstating troops who were pushed out because of COVID, and evidently we need an Iron Dome.
Look,
like Israel, which I've heard we have one, but it's not great.
I was about to. Well, here's the thing: Israel's super small, so we can't necessarily build an Iron Dome the size of America. Okay, like the idea of that is stupid. Yeah. Israel's very small. The idea of building an Iron Dome that could protect that kind of area much more reasonable.
Right.
So do we have an Iron Dome, quote unquote? Maybe not. But I think that's one of the things that makes America's defense superior in a way, is that nobody knows what we have.
Nobody knows what we have. And for years we've had the oceans have been kind of like our Iron Dome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. We've had Navy superiority in all aspects.
Yeah.
Now, from what I understand, I think China has more aircraft carriers than we do now. However, aircraft carriers with the invention of hypersonic missiles are kind of just a show of force. They're not really strategically that much of an advantage now.
Yeah, but are they like from Wish? Did they get them at the TiVo store?
Well, they float. Let's say that they float. I don't know if they'll go anywhere.
China. I think China
Temu aircraft carriers.
Temu aircraft. You order it. It's like, I got the biggest aircraft carrier ever, and it comes and it's only half size.
Yeah. The jets that are on the deck are fake.
It's got fake jets. Yeah. I really don't think China wants to go to war. I don't think. I think they've been that straw man, kind of. You know how they've always done. We got Russia.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think we need to bring everybody up in a way.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't we all just be, hey, cool, we're all making money.
Yeah, I think if everybody would understand that we're all good at different things, right? China is good at making cheap products.
And cheap phones.
And cheap phones, right? Like, they're really good at making cheap products. However they do it, they're really good at it. You know what I mean? Russia's really good at something. Being cold, vodka. Americans are really good at beer and, I don't know.
Well, some would say we're not that good at beer.
Well,
I think Germany would probably disagree with you on the beer statement.
Well, we're not good at marketing beer. Let's put it that way there.
Dude,
we've proven that over the last year and a half or so.
Have you seen the Post Malone, Shane Gillis Bud Light commercial?
It's perfect. The marketing's turning around for Bud Light. The marketing for Bud Light is turning around, man. It's great.
That's when you know the country's coming back.
Yeah.
When beer commercials start getting fun again.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I like a good Budweiser commercial with the Clydesdales that makes me tear up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
You get that little...
Yeah. You're just like, man, those are some big horses.
But see, that's where Bud Light comes in and lightens the mood.
Yeah, sure.
So Budweiser hits you with that heavy feeling.
Yeah. A dad throwing his son onto a little Clydesdale colt. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like a little... son, this is how you start training your Clydesdale. And then that boy grows up and the Clydesdale grows up. And you're burying your dad, and then you're burying the mama Clydesdale or whatever. And then you're just like, oh man, you got a little tear growing in your eye.
And then your buddy shows up and goes with the Bud Light, goes, what's up? Everything's good again. You feel better. What's up?
Especially if it's Post Malone with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
Dude, if Post Malone and Shane Gillis was to show up at my house, I don't care what they're bringing.
Jorts and white sneakers. But by the way, did you notice that they were both
Yes.
wearing jorts and dad sneakers?
I hope that's not coming back because I just got rid of all mine. That's how I should dress at the beach this summer, right?
Jorts and white sneakers, dude, for sure.
With a tucked in button up shirt.
Yeah. Hawaiian. Tucked in Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, it's got to be. Dude, I miss cargo shorts. I'm going to miss them.
What did you stash in those cargo pockets? What did you stash in there, dude?
Sailboat fuel.
That's what you used to carry around in your cargo pants was sailboat fuel?
Sailboat fuel.
A bunch of that air.
Every now and then I throw something in there. Like if I'm like,
snack?
Yeah, a little snack maybe.
Did you ever go bear snack? You ever throw bear snacks in your pocket like M&M's not in a package?
Heck no, that's gross.
Like a pig in a blanket, or like.
Dude, my pliers ride around in those pockets. All my pockets are stained on the inside. Ugh. Now, see, my problem is if I go to throw something in my cargo pockets, it pulls my pants down because I ain't got no butt.
Oh yeah. Do you refuse to wear belts?
I know I wear a belt, but
you wear a belt?
Yeah.
I'm a religious belt wearer. I have to wear a belt at all times. Cannot not wear a belt. Have to wear one.
I've got one on most of the time. I can't find usually you buy a pair of jeans and they're comfortable, and then you sit down like doing this podcast, and now I have to. Now they're falling off.
Yeah,
it's like, how did you go from awesome to and kind of snug to now I can't walk upstairs without holding my pants up?
Yeah, how does that work?
I don't understand it. But are you ready? Okay, so we're going to jump into the meme.
All right, let's do it.
And we got several things that's fallen under. We're not doing a conspiracy corner anymore. It's gone. It's over. Now we're going to do a John reaction video. So John, if you'd click on that video,
all right,
that's in the notes.
Lucky guess. Just a lucky guess. Do you have any narcotics in the vehicle?
No. Other than a little bit of pot, no.
Okay. But you might have a little bit of pot?
Yes,
Okay, that might be inside the vehicle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no. Except for maybe in the ashtray, a couple of roaches, but no, I haven't smoked any pot tonight.
You haven't smoked any pot tonight?
No.
You haven't smoked any pot tonight?
No.
Holy mackerel. Okay, but the one thing that led me to believe that there might be some marijuana in the car tonight.
27-14-7.
Right behind you here, brother.
Very good.
Very
Very good. Very good. Good job, detective.
Stuck right there in his ear.
Oh, that's a good one.
Now here's part 2 of a possibly 3-part meme situation that's going on.
Okay.
Today.
All right. Are you sending this one on text?
Yeah, these will be coming both on text.
Okay.
And you can pick which one you want to do first.
All right. I'm going to pull up the wordy one first. Here we go. We got the wordy one pulled up. This is from Muddy Masters on Facebook, it looks like?
Yeah, Facebook.
Back in the 1930s and 1940s, there were massive jackrabbit population explosions out west in the United States. They ate everything in sight, and there were many people who could not afford the ammunition to try to get them under control. Crops that many people grew as a livelihood suffered as a result. Huge jackrabbit drives would be organized in states like Kansas and Texas, where participants would either use clubs or commence to stomping. It's hard to really pinpoint the beginning of jackrabbit drives in American history, but one thing is clear. Hunters were driving rabbits long before Europeans arrived. Over 2 million jackrabbits were bagged or captured in 13 counties in western Kansas alone. Wow.
So we had, we've talked about the is it the Emu Wars?
Yeah. The
Emu
Emu
Wars that
Wars
we
in
talked
Australia.
about.
Those were hilarious.
And we pretty much had to go to war with jackrabbits.
Yeah.
I mean, we were
that's
probably,
really good.
had it not been the 30s and the Depression was going on, we probably would have had to roll out the military for this.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right. There's a really funny story about Napoleon wanting to hunt rabbits. And so his political advisors got it all set up and like arranged for this like guided hunting of rabbits. Well, the guide had this brilliant idea to let loose like hundreds of rabbits before Napoleon got there. And so when Napoleon and his hunting party finally get there, they're completely overrun by rabbits, like literally getting ran over by the rabbits. There's so many. They had to retreat. Napoleon had to leave, dude. He couldn't even continue his hunting party.
They were probably as tall as him.
Yeah, probably. A little old guy getting run over by rabbits.
Did you know that Napoleon was one of the first ones to use an aircraft in battle?
No.
Yeah,
How did he do that? Like hot air balloon style?
Hot air balloons to help pinpoint cannon strike.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty fascinating.
I learned that on the Sean Ryan podcast this weekend.
Oh, that's really fascinating, man. All right, let's get to the second meme here, or third, kind of. Let's go.
Babylon B.
Babylon B. I love it. I see it. Heroic woman proves once and for all why only men should be pastors.
I can't tell if this is a funny or not. Like, are they serious or is this a joke?
Well,
I mean, because there's a lot of truth. There's a lot of truth.
Well, I think they're just playing on the fact that it is a topic of discussion, right? It is kind of a hot topic. It is a hot button topic, especially for Christians, when it comes to female pastors. So I think they're just kind of playing with the strings a little bit,
Well, look, you ain't seen a male pastor up there. I'm sure there's some out there, but you're not seeing male pastors in the churches like what we go to advocating for what she's advocating for.
No, you're not. And I think you'd be hard pressed to find a male pastor who would say something like that in the presence of Donald J. Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It's one thing to say it on a podcast or at a pulpit on a Sunday morning, right? It's one thing to say it like that.
Right.
But when you're there before the president of the United States and the vice president and the first lady, everybody is there.
Elon Musk.
I say you'd be hard pressed to find a male pastor that would say something like that.
Well,
because it's disrespectful. It's absolutely disrespectful.
It's disrespectful. Two, you look at the number of people that's in that church that don't go to church.
Yeah.
And you spent at the end of the day, God's going to go, so how did you use that opportunity to witness to Elon Musk?
Bingo.
Oh, I bashed Trump's policies instead of telling people about Jesus.
Bingo.
She missed her whole point of her job.
Yep.
So, that replay ain't gonna look good.
No, it's not. It's not.
Explain that one. But
yeah, I mean the church has been so guilty of this on a number of occasions, right? When the world is in turmoil, when there's spiritual battles happening in the physical world, and unbelievers don't know what's going on, and in their fear they turn to the church, and we look like idiots 99% of the time. The church manages to screw it up 99% of the time. Instead of saying, hey, we know what this is. Hey, spiritual battles, we know exactly what that's all about. Right. And guess what? We've got a God that is faithful and will deliver us. You know what I mean? If the church would stand firm on the things that we can agree on, it would look so much better.
Right. I guess that's why there's so many denominations, because we can't stand firm as a unit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure
Like,
can't. We cannot look like a whole temple of Christ.
The
We
church as a
can't look
whole
like the body.
is like, holy cow, y'all, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, we got one goal: tell people about Jesus.
Right.
And
Right. Love God, love people.
We can't even do that without their internal politics getting into it. Anyway, that's enough preaching.
Yeah.
We ain't preaching on this podcast. If you want to hear a podcast about with a good preacher on it, go listen to Sundays at Devotee, because Travis is on there, and he's a whole lot better than me and John.
Bingo, bango. Whole lot better than me, that's for sure. Hey, look, we've got some shout outs we've got to run over, of course. We've got to shout out Chef Drew over there on the Eating Chambers channel on YouTube. Make sure you check him out. He's always got some awesome segments. We're hoping to set up a collaboration soon, a lamb chop collaboration. I started talks with him this weekend. We've got a shout out. We've got a shout out Pushing Like a Dump Truck podcast. There's big news coming on that front. We've got a shout out.
They tell me.
Da Vinci's Pizza. They offer a lot more than pizza, so if you're in the McDonough area, make sure you check them out. Who else we got to shout out this week, Chucker?
Oh, we got to shout out. We picked up 2 more. One of them we'll go ahead and shout out is Parker Lane. It's lemonade stand.
Okay. Hey-o.
I hope I said that right. I always mess it up because Parker Lane is the dog, or Parker is the dog.
Okay.
And I always want to call it something else, but anyway.
Who else?
That's it right now.
Okay, cool.
We got some more coming. We're stacking them deep and selling them cheap.
Amen, brother. Amen. If you want a spot on that race car, you can get it.
We got some good things coming, and we got Pretty Potties is going to be on the car.
Hey,
that's a neat little thing. If you're having a social event and you don't want your standard porta potty, but you want a Pretty Potty, this thing is like walking into your own bathroom. Heat, climate controlled, clean. Probably doesn't smell bad. I'm gonna go ahead and say it doesn't smell bad.
Yes,
but it is a full on toilet on a trailer.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Like if you're having a wedding, let's say you're having a wedding, and you need you just need something with a little bit more pizzazz than sending your wedding party to a stinky old blue water porta potty.
Right.
Give our friends at Pretty Potty a call.
That's a really good ad, man. You did a great job.
I know.
That was really good, dude. I kind of want to go rent one for no reason. All right. We appreciate you listening, Night Shifters. That is episode 181 in the books, brother. We did it. We made it.
Don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to the rivers and the lakes and porta potties that you're used to.